Oh, that looks so fun.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first Hogwarts Legacy gameplay stream. I'm Chandler Wood, Community Manager here at Avalanche Software, and we've got a lot of really exciting stuff to show you today. But before we get into showing you the game and gameplay, I have a few wonderful guests that I need to introduce you to. First up, we have our community guest host. He brings you the latest and greatest in Hogwarts Legacy content. He's the local Merlin conspiracy theorist.
Guilty as charged, yes.
One half of Expecto Go, James Whitehead.
Okay, 1 second.
Yes, I'm James Whitehead of Expecto Go, bringing you guys the latest and greatest in Hogwarts Legacy content. And I am one half of Expecto Go, the better half. My wife, Sue, represents that other half. So I'm excited to be here, and thank you, Avalanche Software, for inviting me. I cannot wait to go over this gameplay. I just got to say that.
Welcome, thank you for being here. And we've got two people from the studio, just two of the many people bringing this thing together, the magic of Hogwarts Legacy. Game director, Alan Tu.
Hello, everyone.
And senior environment artist and Hogwarts expert, Boston Madsen. So thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedules right now to sit down with us to help us show everybody gameplay. So what we're going to be showing you today, first, the character creator, because it's your legacy, and you have to create yourself when you get into to get into Hogwarts and bring your whole authentic self to Hogwarts. So we're going to show you that character creator. Then we're going to dive into a tour of Hogwarts, and it's just a small tour of Hogwarts, right? Because Hogwarts is huge. Hogwarts is really big. So we're going to be showing you a little bit, but it's still a lot. So, and finally, ending up with combat. A little taste of combat, a little taste of how all that works. Just a little taste, So we're excited to get there. But again, first and foremost, we need to get into this character creator. And James, with you here, we wanted to let you create this character. So Andrew, who is going to be doing all of our gameplay capture today, is going to be handing you the controller.
Oh my gosh. All right, I won't break anything. All right, so what are we looking at right here on this screen?
These are your presets. So a lot like other games, there's some initial settings that you can choose for your character that just kind of get them into like the ballpark of what you want to be, who you want to be, and what you want to change.
Oh man!
And then once you're in that ballpark, all of the other tabs let you dial that in, be exactly who you want to be. It's our goal with this is to make sure that for anyone that fantasized about bringing themselves to the school for the very first time, that they feel like they have the options in order to represent who they are and essentially bring themselves to Hogwarts, or whatever character they want to bring to Hogwarts.
Oh my God, and options galore. Do you mind if I try to put myself in here right quick?
It's all about you today.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, that's me. We're here. That's me right there. All right, so that's step one.
We're pretty close, but let's look at everything here. Let's play around with some of these options, like really.
All right, so what are we looking at with this option over here with the tab? I see face stuff.
Yeah, so a lot of the different faces that you saw in the previous screen, all those faces are choices that you have here. So you can, now you're just kind of getting into the details in your face shape, in your skin color. And then because we knew a lot of people going right in are going to want it right away, even though it's an option later in the game, you can collect different types of glasses, put them on later. We give you some options right up front if you want to have glasses for your character.
Listen.
Oh man, oh my gosh, look at the structure of the faces with this. Wow, you guys thought of every crazy.
Yeah, this is pretty good graphics.
I don't think my face is that skinny, but I think we'll go that. I think we'll go that route. And down here is this.
Those are your glasses there.
Oh, so we could go Harry Potter if we want.
Where's the scar, bro?
And this is just some of the options, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so through the course of the game, there's a lot of different options that you'll keep unlocking.
Okay.
So as part of kind of like gear for the character, there's lots of different classes. There's even masks. There's all kinds of things over the course of the game.
I like how it's all Victorian era, though.
Yeah,
like, right up front.
Such a good call. Such a good call. Oh my gosh. All right, so now, we can go fleek on this one with the hair.
I spend a lot of time here just like dreaming about my different characters. And
oh my gosh, the pony. The
God,
thing
look at the
I'm
graphics,
always
look at the hair
amazed
move,
by
look at the
whenever I
hair
see any
move.
aspects of Hogwarts
Look at the
Legacy
light
character creator
reflections
is
on the
just
hair.
The texture, and like you even adding the bounce
Gorgeous.
with the hair moving around. Yo, that kind of looks like Hermione a little bit. I'm not even gonna just like Fred. I'm not Fred. And we can just go. Can I go like Tonks purple or green a little bit?
Absolutely.
Green, baby.
Yo, this is so cool. Oh, I like that. That is cute. Oh, okay, so little behind the scenes. I used to have this type of hair, like
Look at the
way
detail
back.
on the curls. Look at the detail on the
I
curls.
wanted
Look at
silver
that on the
tips,
top.
so that
Look
was
at
the
this.
closest I got to any color. But oh my
Look at the detail up
gosh,
here.
This is so cool. So you literally
Wow,
can bring
that's
yourself.
incredible
Like,
graphics.
It's a myriad of textures and different hairstyles here. All right, so now we're getting over here to play around
Scars,
with
yeah.
some of the
These are more
That's what
subtle
we call it,
options.
scars.
We've
Okay.
got freckles, moles, different things
Moles,
like
baby,
when it comes to
yeah.
your complexion, like darker eyes, maybe like some shading on the cheeks.
Oh man, you guys literally thought of everything with this.
I do have a bit of fun with that. And then the scars are one of those options where, you know, Harry had his own unique scar, but you can come in with different scar
Oh,
options.
geez.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Look at that. I didn't even see that.
Freckles and moles. Okay,
Oh,
complexion.
those are my favorite. The eyebrow
Yeah,
scars.
yeah.
Love those. Love
Yeah,
those.
you look kind
It's
of
a
like,
classic.
yeah, you look kind of just like tough.
All right, is there any build
So
components?
now we're over here.
Oh,
Oh man.
I
This-
color. I was wondering if there's build
guys.
components.
This is so sick.
Again,
this
getting more
looks
subtle
pretty
here,
good.
you know, really like dialing in that face to really get your.
I don't know how revealing I want to be with my facial features now. Just like, yeah, I kind of have a big face. Yeah, my eyebrows kind of sit kind of low.
Wow, the detail on the
But, I mean,
facial structure is
literally,
crazy.
You have so many options just starting
It's
the game.
crazy
I feel like I'm
detail.
going to be here
Wow,
like
okay.
forever.
You and me
That's
both.
impressive.
And then this final tab here, this is where you kind of bring your whole character together. You know, this is where you finalize everything.
voice-
You're not choosing
voice
your house
one,
here.
two.
Okay.
That's not yet.
Difficult.
That
okay.
was a theory.
But you know, here's where you bring you choose voice 1 or voice 2, which is more kind of a masculine or a feminine voice, and then even within that, changing your pitch,
Oh, with
the pitch slider.
It's a subtle slider, but
Yeah.
you can hear it,
Concerned about. That was quite something.
and so you can kind of make out
Game
the
drops,
differences.
oh,
But yeah,
man,
you
looks
choose which
pretty
kind of
good.
voice that you
Barry will
want.
be able to help.
You'll be selecting your difficulty here. For today, we'll just go normal because
Okay.
Andrew's going to be taking us through some of the experiences with combat later.
And we can talk a little more about difficulty, with
Yeah,
combat
yeah,
and
yeah,
how
yeah.
that plays in.
That is a
But I
big
think
question.
the important thing here is like if for people who aren't gamers, especially,
Right.
story mode is a way to get into this without being worried about like, oh, do I need to be good at games? Like, no, just enjoy this game. It's,
And I will put
Get
it
good.
go and then go. We're good. We're good. Awesome.
and then whether you want to be witch or wizard.
Amazing.
What'd you think, character creator? We're good.
I'm good.
Pretty good.
Yo, let's
Pretty good.
explore Hogwarts and let's get into some combat.
All right. Through the magic of using a dev kit, we're going to be loading up a save a little later in so that we can show you more about Hogwarts and give you that taste of combat. All right, Andrew's got some gameplay pulled up for us here. We are starting out, James. There you are. You're wearing the House Fanatic robes from the
Oh, look at the
account.
UI. Look at the UI.
Yeah, I do look
Look at
good.
the UI.
And this is our first look at the
Bottom
Hufflepuff
right.
Common Room, I'm assuming. I mean, dorm room.
dorm room,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. This is awesome.
Potions,
But Alan,
abilities.
what are we seeing right here with the UI? Because this is our first look.
Potions are going to be huge.
So right now, we know there's been a lot of questions about the HUD because this is the first time we're showing it. So kind of going over it from right to left, on the bottom right is what we call our spell diamond. So those are, everything that you see in it are slottable spells. So we have
Oh,
over 20
builds.
slottable spells that you
20,
can earn over
20.
the course of the game.
Okay.
And that's where the player can place them and use them and access them very quickly. To the top left of that is you'll see the D-pad, and on the left is an eyeball, and on the right is a bit of a grid. So the eyeball is an example of one of, not a slottable spell, but what we call an essential spell. There are certain spells that are used in very specific contexts or that we just want on the controller at all times. And Revelo is one of those. That's left on the
Reveal.
D-pad. on the right on the D-pad is that grid represents where you might slot spells. And so
Okay.
right now, today, we're not going to be going into the spell slotting menu because we feel like there's a lot of spoilers there. You know, like what are all the spells and what can we do?
I would like spoilers, but I understand.
But we do want to make sure there's still some goodies left to share with everyone. And then on the left side, that thing that has the L1 button next to it, that's another thing where we don't want to spoil, but basically that's where you access your tool wheel. So there's a lot of magical tools that you're going to be
magical tools. It's gonna be like exploring like
over the course of the game.
Zelda.
And so that's where you would access them rapidly is our tool wheel.
Okay, cool.
There are a few
different
things
than
that I left
potions.
off the table on the right. The green bar is your health, and basically there's a potion next to it. That's how you might heal. The bar above it, we're keeping a secret for now. I apologize. And all the way
That's
on the
ultimates, I
left is
guarantee it.
our mini map with a kind of overhead view of where you are currently in your common room
Oh,
that
let me-
updates as
hold
you
on.
travel through
You guys
Hogwarts and
can't see
beyond
this
out
one
in
second.
the
I'll
world.
turn my camera
And for those fans out there that aren't a huge fan of
Bottom
mini maps,
left
because we know
is
they
the-
exist,
is
there's
that.
also
You guys
options
can
to
see
remove
it.
the mini map
Oh,
and
cool.
turn on or off different elements
Cool.
of
Okay.
our HUD. But
Really
that-
immerse yourself.
Yeah,
and we'll go more into the spells as we get into combat, but
Ooh.
that's what you're seeing there. And this is our HUD.
Also, Andrew's giving us a good look over here. I want
look
to
at
call
the
out.
graphics!
I'm a big fan of the bedside tables in the dormitories. Very nice bedside
Candy,
tables.
bro.
They are nice bedside tables.
Yeah,
The honey-colored wood was mentioned in the writing. It's part of lore.
it's part of lore. There we go. All right.
So now we're walking out into.
We really tried making these low-ceilinged dorms to give you that.
Listen to the
badger
sound
Yeah.
of footsteps.
Sort of
The
cool.
interact
The first
button,
thing I know
interact
is
button,
the
interact
music.
button.
The score is amazing with this.
Gorgeous.
And I'm calling out here. This is unique music that you're hearing for the
God,
Hufflepuff
the
Common
music
Room.
is amazing.
Go back to those common room videos we released. You'll notice the music's a little bit different,
Oh,
and that is entirely intentional.
Look at that! Look at that symbol! That symbol matches the secret thing. That
We just want to
symbol
welcome
matches the
you
secret
to
thing.
your common room in every single house, just a little bit differently. Begin customizing that experience right away.
Oh, gotta
my
figure out
God,
what
that's
that
so
is.
awesome. Look at that.
There's tons of interactions. Look at that.
I mean, beautiful design. We could spend like the entire rest of the stream just in the common room here and talking about it, and I'm sure Boston and James could be like just geeking out over it.
That's
All the details come
incredible
from Nico's
environment.
writings for this common room. The round doors, the hanging vines, even the dancing badgers on the
It's
fireplace.
got a real earthy vibe. to
Yeah.
it.
It's very, very earthy.
Which is like elements for each of the houses,
Yeah,
right? Like
Hufflepuff is earth.
See, look at all the
Ravenclaw's air,
interactables,
Gryffindor
right?
is
There's
fire,
tons to
Slytherin is
interact
water.
with.
We
Wow.
really leaned into that for each common room.
Wow.
So it feels earthy. We've got a little earthen passageway. That's what we were. Hopefully, it should feel very familiar.
Yeah, it does. It does.
but I know you don't want to leave, but we're gonna be leaving.
Okay.
Thank you. I understand. Whoa, the sound effects though.
Oh, listen to the sound.
Looking back at the past trailers, it was just music, but kind of hearing how Hogwarts is now, it's so cool.
Very tactile.
Yeah.
Andrew's going to make use of one of our
Ooh.
spells, Revelio.
Oh, okay, wait,
Here's
wait.
Revelio right here, because there's a little
Reveal,
magic
let's
going
reveal,
on.
let's
You notice a
reveal.
little something there. Yeah.
Wait,
So
Hufflepuff.
these are something that we kind of interchangeably call Revelio pages or lore pages. And you'll notice a bunch of things pop up on the screen.
Yeah.
You see that we got some
XP.
XP for it.
Mhm.
And you can also see that we've advanced something called like a field guide challenge up in the
okay.
corner.
Oh my
So I wanna talk
God,
about
there's
that a
so
little
many
bit.
collectibles.
So we had to ask ourselves, what? Eh?
Continue, I'm sorry. Continue.
There may be something you may or may not be able to tickle there.
Yeah.
But in our game, we had to answer the question, we're a late fifth year. What does that mean? How do we catch up to the other students?
Okay, okay.
And so we have an answer to that question, and it's given to you by the staff. So there's something that we call the Wizard's Field Guide that's granted to you
Wizard Field
early
Guide.
on in the game. And the Wizard's Field Guide is how you actually work on catching up with the other students. So Andrew, if you hit pause for me up here, before we push forward a little bit,
This is
you
Harry
can see in our pause menu, it's got
Hogwarts
this
Legacy.
book theme.
Wow.
That's your Wizard's Field Guide, and you can see your house kind of crest
in the middle,
overlaid
yeah.
over it.
Quest,
And you can
map,
see that on your level
inventory,
as well.
gear,
So
talents,
the Field
collections.
Guide
Oh, yes,
has
this is
this
deep.
magical property of
Deep.
looking out
Screen
into
cap
the
it.
world around you. And the reason why it's on loan from the Ministry of Magic and the professors
So
have
cool.
granted it to you as a late fifth year student is because they want it to help you catch up to the other kids. And its magical property is to discover different opportunities to learn and grow all around you. So the way it works is as you discover gameplay in the game, it actually recognizes that as a challenge, which is kind of
On the bottom.
locked into there.
Okay.
And Andrew, if you go in there, you'll see different types of challenges that are combat challenges.
Oh, look at the
quest
UI. Look at the
exploration
UI.
challenges. And you can see field guide pages are on there as well.
Yeah.
Look at the top.
We have that one field guide page.
That entire category is one of the ways that the book itself
And it's
kind of
animated,
fills out into
gorgeous
the school
UI.
and spills out into the school and kind of hides itself with different types of challenges and different things to do around the school that you're
That
actually
is
going
so
to
cool.
interact with to help you grow as a wizard and practice your spells. And so that thing that we just saw is not just a field guide challenge and a way to earn XP. It's also something that that players can use to learn about the school as they're traveling around. They spot these little secret facts and they can kind of play a little bit of a game discovering all of them. And there
Wow, so
there are
detailed,
over
man.
100 field guide pages just in Hogwarts alone. So.
Little glimpse of the grand staircase
Yeah.
here. We're not gonna.
Circular staircase.
All,
See, that's
all
there
the
right there.
portraits.
Grand staircase.
And I did
This is
notice
it.
the blue flame just ignite
Blue
right
flame,
there, which was so
Grand
cool.
staircase.
Yeah.
Oh,
That has to
man.
do with
Fast travel
exploration,
points
I think.
there. House hourglasses. We had to. How much fun was it designing those and putting all
Oh, they're
those in
gorgeous,
there?
but
But
that they're there just like in the books.
Yes.
Right
It's
next
a
to
nod
the
to
Great
lore.
Hall.
it's a nod to
detailed.
lore. House points is not a core mechanic or system in the
Yeah,
game. It is
we didn't turn it
narratively.
into like a gameplay system, but it's definitely present throughout our narrative. And there are lots of choices where we want to nod to things that aren't necessarily gameplay systems, but we nod to them as part of the narrative.
Over to the right
Part of the
there,
wizard
Andrew
world.
was teasing. That's the Great
Great
Hall
Hall.
over
Yeah.
through those doors. Again, we're not going there. He's just
come
kind of like, no.
Oh, look at the
Cool,
book.
cool.
Look at the paper. It's interactable.
Here's another collectible page. You know, just again
There's
showing you
so
like
much-
just these things around
Oh,
Hogwarts
that's
that
so
you can
sick.
do and pick up and.
Oh, it's so
That's a shot straight
interactive.
from the
It's so
trailer,
much
too.
detail.
That part right there.
Okay.
I recognize
We
that.
might be giving you a little fan service here with,
Appreciate you, buddy.
with
Thank you,
callbacks to those.
Galen.
So,
And this must be summertime because I noticed these are the summertime windows. These windows will change with the seasons.
Yeah, the detail they put into this is kind of it. I get surprised by it all the time.
I
It's
didn't
a
even know that was a
sentient
thing.
magic castle. So
Oh, man. And we're going out.
Oh, look at that lighting.
This is where the students would normally kind of congregate, just to kind of chill out, play, meet each other outside of the Great Hall.
Looks just like
before
the
and after
movies.
meals.
and I love the way that when the castle interconnects to, that it interconnects outside, inside. There are pathways
Oh,
on
see,
both
this
sides
is
of
it
things.
again.
So you
This is
really
it
get
again. Watch
a sense of
this.
scope
That-
to how big this
That's
castle
the
is.
And when you see
exploration
things
thing.
like you'll
The
notice the
blue
bridge over
flame.
there. That's
Okay.
a place you can go to and cross. Like
Yeah.
everything that you see is a place that you can visit.
Wow.
we
Oh,
tried
Quidditch. Look at
we put a lot of effort in making it feel really alive. Not just with student population, but even just the greenery and stuff. It's
Listen to the
Scotland.
listen to the
And
waterfall.
this castle's been here for hundreds of years, so just kind of the moss and all the trees that have overgrown it, and
Oh, my gosh.
that landscape, that
This
Scottish.
location might look a little familiar to you.
I thought I recognized it. I believe this is from the Spring ASMR. And yes, so that puzzle right there, that view, Andrew is taking us right back to
I am
that.
going to tell Andrew not to interact with that puzzle and to keep moving on. We can't
Puzzles,
spoil
I know.
everything. We can't give you everything, right?
Hogwarts,
Yeah, it's a
gives
single
you lot
player
of
game.
secrets.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
But this is this grand entryway right here coming down into a really kind of central area.
Yeah, we're coming upon the central hall, and we pointed out the greenhouse outside, and we'll notice when we get down there that it's on the right.
This is a big hub of the school. Like it's a big castle, but it is designed so you shouldn't get very lost. This is kind of a
Oh, look at
grand
the
central
animations
station.
on the painting.
love
That
I love
each
that.
direction, it's green over there, so the greenhouse is over there. Transfiguration courtyard,
Oh, the
library
music is
straight ahead. So it's kind of
incredible.
the hub
Oh, my
of
God.
a lot of the castle.
Even the color, visually, you can just tell,
Oh,
okay,
that's
green,
impressive.
Oh, green, go that
greenhouse.
way.
Oh, my God.
A lot of it'll be subconscious, but
Yeah.
it'll help you really learn the castle and feel like you know your way around.
That's not to say that it's easy to learn. All of us here still get pretty lost in it
It
on a
is a
daily
castle.
basis.
It
It's a
is.
castle.
Great point.
I love that Andrew's definitely teasing a lot of things here. I'm noticing he's swinging the camera this way and that.
Yeah.
He's got this grin on his face over there that's just like, yeah, I know what
That
I'm
statue
doing. I know
is
what I'm
from the reveal trailer. There's that dragon. Oh, my
This
God.
is another location where the students will gather,
So
and
that's a
just kind of
quest?
chill out.
That's a
And
quest.
an
to get, okay.
opportunity to talk to somebody, get a
Yeah.
quest
Appreciate
giver
you,
here.
Snap.
Is everything all right?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm
Thank you,
Nellie,
buddy.
by the way. I'm just so excited that the Daedalian keys are back.
The what keys?
The Daedalian
Oh,
keys.
the
Surely
accent.
you've seen them flying about. Rumour is that a former headmistress, Professor Moll, conjured them to protect the contents of certain locked cabinets years ago. Professor Black couldn't be bothered to disenchant the keys, and they appear every few years. You should try to catch one.
Why would I do that?
Each key will lead you to a locked cabinet somewhere in the castle. If you can manage to get the key into the cabinet lock, not an easy task, you may find a reward.
Oh, dialogue, Will. Here we go. Questions? Okay, doesn't look like there's much choice. Oh, I'm gonna move my head. You see this?
Perhaps
Crap,
I'll give it
sorry
a
about
go.
that.
I hope you do. In fact, I think I heard one of the keys in the astronomy tower. You should listen for them.
So those kind of
I
side
hope
quests
so.
are really, it's a cool
Hold
way
my
to
camera there.
interact
If you manage to
with
open a
your fellow
cabinet.
students, with perhaps other teachers, with
Oh, this looks great.
various
Yeah.
things like that, as well as teach you some more of the secrets of Hogwarts, I think. There's a
in this
little
case,
bit of that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So the students are a way to kind of like flesh out the school opportunities around it, what we can do, and then those interactions, different interactions with different characters
Okay, so the
can
UI is
also
pretty
offer different
easy.
choice points for the player. And then some of those things
Transfer.
can affect things game wide. Some of these affect characters' lives, the ending of the game.
Ending of the
And
game.
sometimes it's just about you being a little bit of a
Sometimes
nice
just about
guy
the
or just
mission.
being a jerk.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
that's the ending
So
of the
the
game.
scale really varies, but those opportunities exist for the player.
Wow, look at
That's
this.
huge replayability.
This is the Dada Defense Against the Dark Arts.
All right, let me move my camera again. I'm sorry.
Power, which this is one of my favorite locations in the castle. Just visually, you come in here and just the richness of
It
this
is
I
area.
love
very
the
iconic,
accents.
very
I
unique
love
to-
the accents too.
Anywhere else in the castle.
Somebody else that we can talk to, notably a younger student.
Yeah, she looks like a first year
She's
or
sassy.
an 11-year-old.
Looks sus.
Are you all right?
Don't you know who I am? Zenobia Noak, the girl whom everyone at school hates for no reason.
Why does that? No, why does everybody hate you?
Everyone hates you. Why?
Because Hogwarts is full of bullies and spoilsports. Leander Pruitt's one of the worst, that no-talent moon mind. I wanted to make some new friends, and so I brought my collection down to the common room. My gobstone collection, that is. I was hoping someone would want to play. Are you familiar with gobstones?
Oh, mini
Little
game?
balls, like marbles. Grand game. And if you lose, they spray you with a foul-smelling liquid.
Ugh. Here we go. See that? The interface there? Okay, I just want to show you that.
I haven't much interest in a game that sprays you with odors.
Only if you lose, which I never
only,
do.
yeah, only if you
Or
lose.
at least,
Let's
not
go.
often. People can be so cruel. Just because they're
Tales of
sprayed all over
tribute.
with smelly gobstone spit, it's their own fault for losing. Imelda is one of the worst losers. Everett and Astoria are terrible as well. And now those poor losers have taken my gobstones and hidden them in very high places all over the school.
I don't have, let's see, I have done the same. That's what they reacted
Sounds
with.
as if you caused the smelly situation and they responded accordingly.
I didn't make the rules. Anyway, I can't work out how to get them back on my own. I don't think I know the necessary spells yet.
Oh, so they're gonna
I
foreshadow the
need
spells.
someone, perhaps a selfless and talented fifth year to help me.
Fifth year. I can't make any promise, any ideas of how to reach them, or you don't have any friends. Let's see what happens. So you can follow up questions.
I'll see
looks
what
like.
I can do.
I'd appreciate the help. If you do find all of my gobstones, do come and see me again. I'll be back to playing Snake Pit and Jackstone by myself in no time.
I love that interaction with her because there's so many ways that you can go with that. You can you can feel for her. You can be a jerk to her. You can be like, Gobstone sounds awful. It sounds like you're just mean.
Yeah, and your opportunities to be mean there aren't over. So,
They continue.
that's a good example of the.
Gobstones too. I know people are gonna ask. Gobstones playable? They mentioned it, right?
Yeah. Gobstones is one of the things that is not playable in the game. I know we've had to rip the Band-Aid off on a few things. Honestly, it's an amazing thing on the franchise how many things about this, like like speak to us as fans and that we want to turn into gameplay. And there were calls that we had to make over the course of production of kind of like which things we will and won't include in the bucket, just kind of for the overall.
Wizard's Chess.
Those are things that aren't featured.
Aren't featured.
Yeah.
They're featured within the world. Right?
I'm glad they're mentioned. They're a part of the wizarding world.
Yeah. Every single time there was something that
students'
we regretted because we couldn't include it. We also tried to figure out a way to make sure that it was included in the narrative, included in the stories, make sure that there's a way to kind of like acknowledge it, touch it, you know, and make it feel like it's definitely part of the world.
And I know here too, we're like,
I was like, we're in the Defense Against the Dark Arts class. I recognize that staircase to the left where we were just at. Andrew was walking by. I also recognize the dragon at the very top. Oh my gosh.
Being in a classroom, I think this is a good opportunity to talk about how classes work, because we've gotten a lot of questions about that. Is it a schedule-based system? Is it so tell us how classes work?
Yeah, so ultimately decided not to go the sim route. So I think like one of the speculations was, is there time of day and you know, that kind of thing.
So
like, can I miss class at this time of day?
There is a day-night cycle.
Yeah, there is a day-night cycle, but everything is very narrative-based. There's a big mystery going on in the world. There's something happening in the narrative, and we essentially see it as kind of like chapters in that narrative. Each chapter of which has a set of missions that you can choose between as you're progressing through the game, and classes fit within that structure. So there are mainline things that the players have to do, and then classes also appear on the sides as well as optional things that help you advance your spells. It's absolutely true that classes provide all of your major tools throughout the gameplay, your spells, your major abilities. You get to know the professors. Each one of them has these bespoke kind of events and moments in those missions. And then there are also additional opportunities outside of that through kind of like side classroom missions, essentially, where you can learn additional spells or things that you need in your adventure.
So the professors are relevant to your builds. Yeah, the professors are relevant to your builds.
I want to call out
something
that Andrew's been kind of showing off, ways to kind of interact with the environment and just engage with the world. And, you know, maybe down there who's sipping some tea with the
Victorian high, you know.
High society.
High society.
I just no wonder you like this area because we built it for like the purebloods and the Slytherins.
Oh, come on.
Purebloods.
Well, like, speaking of lived in, like, the sound effects again, the chatter of the communication that's happening, and
oh my god! Oh, look at that!
It just makes it feel more alive.
Oh, the sound effects are dope.
Brooms going
I just
by
saw a broom
overhead.
go by.
I pre-ordered this too. Yeah. I want to see potion making. It's a core
Data
of the
Tower
gameplay.
was one example, but no two hallways should look the same in Hogwarts. It has a lot of personality. Every hallway should be a little bit different, and that's mostly to help orient the player, help you not get lost. But this is Hesperus Hall. That's a little nod from the Marauders, a name that came from the Marauders map. But every hallway will have a little bit of a different personality and
personality. I like that.
It
does. Like Hogwarts has character. Hogwarts is its own character, no matter where you go.
Yeah.
Feels just a little bit different.
There's locked door back there.
Magic for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
It's going to
Got it.
grow and develop. Oh, I heard something.
Yeah. Speaking of characters.
Speaking of magic, Mr.
I
Magic
can make 100 videos from Mr. OX.
Future Poltergeist too.
You know, we talked about building on lore too. I know there's that statue over to the side.
Oh, yeah?
That's
Do you know who that is?
Lachlan the Lanky,
Yeah,
and he's got his Bowtruckle friend. And I think if players don't know, there's another Revelio page there.
Yeah, there's a map of Argyllshire. We know the fat lady hides there.
Hides behind it. That's right.
The third book.
It's the sound
But sometimes
effects too. I mean,
a hallway has
graphics are great,
personality
but
by
man,
how
the
it
sound.
looks. Or we just passed a music hallway where the portraits have kind of taken
what's
it
up,
over.
Romeo?
So the sound makes it really unique.
I love the sound.
All right,
and the
I
graphics.
gotta call this out here. I know there's been some criticism in the past that our trailers and our gameplay and what we've shown so far has not had enough owls. Okay, so here we are at the owlry. We're looking directly at the owlry to show you all of the owls.
It's a lot of owls.
You can
There's a
zoom
lot
in.
of owls
You can zoom
at the
in.
owlry.
Like
I
even
love
Andy
the
owls.
fog rolling down that.
Great
You guys see
callback.
that? Look
Great
at that zoom.
callback.
No, I also love that as one of my favorite things about just kind of going around on the outside of the school is that all those things that I see are places that I can go to, that I can visit. I
On the
just love
outside
that
of the school,
sensation
you can
knowing
go
that
to
that's
those.
real.
That lovely Scottish countryside.
Yeah,
We're
single player
kind of
game.
closing out our mini tour of Hogwarts, and again, is but a fraction of this enormous castle. But we're closing it out here in the clock tower. So another recognizable location. But this is where Crossed Wands, which is the secret, not so secret dueling club is. Dueling club? That students have put together. Professors definitely know about it, but they think they're being clever. And it's run by this Lucan Brattleby here,
who's in a younger year, but we kind of like that that he's running things.
Hello, Lucan. May I use the training dummy?
Of course. I'll fetch it and give you a list of combinations to practice. Ready to have a try now?
That would be wonderful.
Be sure to cast all your spells before the dummy lands. If you need to stop practicing before you finish all of them, let me know.
And this is a really good opportunity to now jump into combat, because really in the game this is going to be the first time where you yourself get to learn about combat and combos in a big way and in a new way. For me personally, this was where the game like really starts to open up to the possibilities.
Yeah. So we've set up a training dummy, and this is kind of an activity where you're supposed to execute according to kind of the iconography on the top. Now, what we see on the top is the Accio spell, followed by 4 what we just kind of lovingly refer to as basic shots. There's certain spells what the wizards kind of like use, just kind of fling. Andrew's using one now. And you trigger that by tapping R2 on your controller. So you can see in the corner R2. So if you tap R2, that throws out a basic shot. But that R2 is also your gateway to all of the spells that you might slot. So if you hold R2 instead, you can see how the diamond expands. And if we let go, you see how it contracts? Yeah. And so if you hold it again, it expands. And so when it expands, then all the spells that you slotted while you're holding that button can now be tapped with your face buttons.
Awesome.
And not only that, but over the course of the game,
so you bring your wand back and then cast them.
Additional spell diamonds, up to 4 additional ones, so that you can slot up to 16 spells, pretty much instantly. And then that helped us fulfill the fantasy of in combat, I need to be able to access things very rapidly. Yeah. And so you learn over the course of these events, how to juggle not just the spell casting, but also it reinforces an understanding of another feature of the wheel, which is their cooldown. So as you're casting spells, just to make sure that you're not just kind of like repeatedly using one thing over and over and over again. You can see cooldowns on the spells that he's using on the wheel. And then as you progress through the game, there are different things that can affect things like cooldowns.
Okay, so you can do like light attacks
different things
and
that allow you to
combos
kind of like juggle and adjust and update those things. And so if you hold down R2 and you tap the D-pad, it will switch between your other diamonds if you've unlocked them, and that's how you access all those.
Oh man, it looks like we're about to get some action over here.
Yeah, so this is a great way to kind of learn how to pull things together, pull those combos together.
Yeah.
Wingardium Leviosa!
Accio.
So there's a lot of light attacks in between, see? A lot of basic attacks.
Well done,
Andrew.
So there's a lot
That's
of
just
basics.
against the dummy, but I mean...
I'd say that's enough practice. You looked good out there.
Thank you, Lucan.
I say better to discover one's weaknesses during practice than during a duel. You'll be a fearsome challenger now.
I think now we can take on something a little more challenging. It's going to shoot back.
Now let's talk about some more features of the combat system.
Hello, Lucan. Is the next round of Crossed Wands all set?
Why, yes it is. I've got a great match lined up. Ready for another round?
We're on a PS5 dev kit here, so we're going to be able to kind of pause the action and talk about what you're seeing on the screen, because there's about to be a lot going on.
PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. You can buy this on Steam right now. So we got a pre-order. A bunch of us got a pre-order.
Here you can select if you want to fight with somebody else, some of your classmates. But in this case, we're not. We want that action to feel a little more frantic towards you to really get you that sense.
Let's see how the fighting back goes.
Of combat.
So apparently you've got quite the reputation because they've got you up against 3 people.
3, yeah.
3 kiddos?
So I can explain this just because I know people are going to go into it, but we can probably just kind of jump in.
Oh, we got shields!
So you're not the only one that has Protego and the ability to deflect. The enemies do too. and we actually play with that when it comes to the spell casting. So you notice that there are different colored kind of shields around the different characters.
Oh, this is
and you also notice that your spells have different colors on them. So to help players understand kind of like the function of their spells, we kind of put them into brackets. So there are damage spells, there are force spells, there are, I'm forgetting the other one, all this, control spells. And so those things for the player, they wind up also being a color indicator for which actual spell to use to break the different shields that enemies can use. That way it rewards kind of like that close attention that you're paying on things.
We've got this paused here now, and you can kind of see all the elements on the screen, the halo around the avatar's head, each of the different shields.
Look at yours.
To kind of give us a breakdown of what's going on.
Give us a breakdown of different things that you're saying. So you notice at the top that we're kind of like calling out which enemy you currently have targeted and their level and health. And so, you know, as you target different characters, you'll be able to get that breakdown. The halo over your head, whenever an enemy is about to an attack, it's almost like you have a little bit of a sixth sense for those things that are coming. If you see the halo, it means there's an incoming attack.
So you can block timely.
The triangle button by default, then
look down here.
You'll be able to deflect that attack that comes in and off with super take.
And I love that deflect where it goes off
they didn't tell us.
like
Look at
hits
its charge. I bet it's an ultimate.
And breaks things off walls too.
But also, if you hold the button, then it doesn't just deflect. It also deflects and turns around with a counter attack stupefy that actually stuns the enemy. And you can use that even in your combos and stuff. So if you're focused on a character, you know, and you're doing your thing, and someone else attacks you, you can actually turn that attack into a direct attack on the person that you're comboing.
Back into gameplay here. Andrew's gonna pretty handily finish these other students off here.
Yeah, it's filling. Look, and a combo meter is filling. Look at that. Combo 1, 2x. Potion was chugged.
Yeah, we really felt like
I gotta make 100 videos on this.
We really felt like in the movies, there's almost like a. It's kind of like a. There's this element of kind of like fencing from a very great distance.
That's such a good call.
And there are a lot of things that we had to do with our controls and combat system in order to kind of capitalize on that idea that's pretty unique to the Wizarding world.
God, I gotta watch this over and over
try
now.
That next time. The other duelists have already taken notice of you, but after that last round, they'll really have it in for you. You'd better keep practicing if you want a chance at winning, or at least surviving the next round. I'll let you know when we're ready. Hope to see you then.
Oh, so it's kind of like The Witcher, you have to come back at every stage.
The next round is for all the gobstones, so to speak.
Okay, so there's different stages of the dueling. Okay, yeah, rounds. You probably have to level up or do something in the game.
That
okay,
is more or less going to wrap it up for us for now, for what we wanted to show you. Character creator, tour of Hogwarts, and just that little taste of combat. But we didn't want to leave you without maybe a little taste of something that we may show in the future, may show next time. You know, so leaving the castle, going out here.
Oh, it is open world too. They gotta bring multiplayer to this game. They got to. It's too lucrative not to bring multiplayer. Look at the combat. That's what I wanted to know. Combat and builds.
All of the owls.
The combat's too lucrative.
But yeah, just heading out here again to show you like from Hogwarts
look at
to
the open
the world beyond Hogwarts. And this is not somewhere where we're going today, but we will definitely be taking you in the future.
That's a lot to explore.
Glimpse at the scale of the castle back there. All right, so we're gonna wrap things up here, but I hope you guys have enjoyed everything that you've seen. But I think, James, you may have a few other questions here at the end of things. So while we're done with what we're showing on the gameplay
it's gonna
side,
be huge.
I know there's a few things that you want to pick.
They're gonna have to add multiplayer, 100%.
I would love that because there's a lot.
What's this? What's this, a phone, bro?
All right, so some of these questions we did pull from the community secretly, but I did pull from the community. So,
and also from, I mean, going through this, I feel like you've come up with some things you want to talk a little more about, I'm sure.
Elaborate on, because we went through character customization, Hogwarts itself, and even combat. So this would be like for the both of you guys. Will we be able to go back and change our character creation if we don't like it?
So not everything, but there are certain things with hairstyle, hair color, so kind of like core shapes, you know, like with the body and face, not after the fact.
Okay.
But there are lots of things. There's kind of like a barber shop in Hogsmeade that you can go to, and
Of course, there's
inside
a wizard
there,
barber,
you
right?
yeah.
You could change your hair color for holidays or something, right?
Oh my gosh, that would be so cool.
And the game features a lot of appearance customization in it. So there's a ton of options there.
So yes, but no.
That's in terms of like your character and stuff that you have, the character creator. It's like a smaller set of what you saw there.
Okay. Oh my gosh, awesome, awesome. Next question: what kind of leisurely activity can we do? Can we study with our free time? I mean, what will we be doing just hanging out in Hogwarts?
Because as you progress through the game, there's a bunch of different missions that open up. Most of them are driven by different characters' personalities. You know, some of them want help getting up to hijinks, or some of them want to just explore secrets in the castle because there are new secrets in our castle to explore. And so, so I think there's a bunch of things to do. And when it comes to class, as I mentioned earlier, it's not just kind of like the mainline stuff. There are kind of like extracurricular assignments, some of which are optional, some of which are kind of like blockers for main mission. Kind of like you can't go on this mission until you have the spell. And then the spell is open, you know, the assignment and how you complete
like Zelda,
it.
basically, you get a new tool and then you get to progress
there are
with the
opportunities
professor.
to
so you're going to do those different
study,
professors,
so to speak, like with
100%.
that. But they do all take the form of our mission structure.
As you mentioned earlier. Wow. Let's get into some combat right quick. Do spells have different levels, or are they all equal?
Do spells have different levels, or are they all equal? I'm trying to think of how to describe that. So
do you level them
each
up?
spell has kind of like its own core identity and what it does in the game, with regards to both kind of like puzzling, world exploration, and enemy combat and all that kind of stuff. And then it's through the talent system. Right. When you go into that, it's kind of like each of those spells has ways to kind of like advance and grow and change. And as you spend talents, in some cases, it even changes like the way you approach the battlefield and things like that. So I'd say that's no more true than with like dark arts, for example. And as you go down that line and you kind of play around with those talents, it really does start to kind of like affect even how you approach combat and how you think about the battlefield.
So you can upgrade your spells. There's 20 spells, I think they said.
The dark art stuff.
The answer is yes.
I know many of you guys will be.
Maybe on your second playthrough?
Second playthrough, yes. Dark Hufflepuff coming.
Ooh, is there a new game plus? Is there a new game plus?
I want to close off with this question, and this will be for everybody, and we'll start with Boston. With this game that you guys have been working on for however long, and the excitement you guys have, what's one aspect of Hogwarts Legacy that you are excited for the fans to experience?
What's one aspect? Okay.
I think I'm just excited for the fans to play through the world, specifically the castle, and maybe go read those books again. I hope that either whether you're already a fan and
I can play this with my
love
son.
this game, or this is your first introduction into the world, I hope they just point at each other in the best way possible. And I'm just excited for fans to get to finally go to Hogwarts and feel like they can own it and live there. I've lived there for 5 years. It's a great place to live.
Wow. They've been developing this a lot.
It's really funny because I want to give a different answer, and I will. But I actually feel like the most honest answer is really similar. Because my favorite thing when running around, playing the game, and getting to know Hogwarts the way Boston knows it, because she knows the school and the lore better than I do, and thank God, right? Because you want the person architecting it to really know that. But when I rewatch the films or I'm rereading passages from the books, there's a different relationship to those things having played the game. And so it's really looking over the edge and seeing location. I'm like, oh my God, I'm right there. And in the movie saying, I know what's around that corner in the film. Like if you go down this way, there's actually a thing over here, and there's this person over here, and this thing happened, and it just adds all this richness to everything that you already love.
And not just that, but you're going to add your own story. So you know what happens around that corner because you did something.
And then the quick answer, just to have something different, is I just love being on a broom. I just love looking at the whole world and just being like, okay, I can just go.
I can go there.
That vantage point,
There's just something exhilarating about it that feels very different in that kind of open air and on that thing. It just it's kind of incredible.
That was your answer,
and wrapping it up, for me, it's just bringing the community together with it and sharing those stories, because it is your story, and you are going to be writing you know, this is your unique experience within this, and even within the things that are the same, it's going to be your unique experience. It's different from mine. It's different from. We're all approaching it from different places, and I think that's going to be really cool the way that everybody brings those things together. All right, and that's everything that we have to show you today. I know maybe it wasn't everything you wanted to see, but it was a whole lot of stuff. Character creator.
That was good. That was a good reel, though.
Little mini tour of Hogwarts there. Just
only
a small part of it. A little bit of combat. And we do have some more stuff coming up for you in the future. Hogwarts Legacy releases on February 10th, 2023.
February 10th.
And is available for pre-order now. But that's going to do it from us. We're going to leave you with a little something else. But for now,
something else.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, a trailer. So good. Oh, yes! Okay, Avalanche Software is the developer, looks like. Warner Brothers is the publisher, Avalanche Software. Stream has ended. Stay tuned for the next one. All right. Oh my God, there's a lot to break down. You guys want me to break this down real quick? I took a bunch of notes. We can rewatch it here in a second. I think that it goes into its past broadcast. Let me turn it down a second. Okay, are they going to end it? Usually we can just hit refresh and rewatch it, but... Okay, so I took a bunch of notes down. Let me just kind of go through them real quick. There's a lot to talk about. I could basically get off stream today and make 1,000 YouTube videos on this. I don't know if I should or not, but... okay, so let me pull up my Steam, because I got this pre-ordered, right? So let me show you this first off. Now, I'm not, like, I don't get anything if you guys buy this or not, and so forth, but... So yeah, I pre-ordered this on, looks like, February 10th is when it comes out, and I'm pretty sure it's a single-player game. People were saying that it's a, multiplayer game, and I don't think so. So it should be a single-player game totally. Let me pull this back up quick. Okay, so 2 months. You can pre-order it. Again, you guys don't have to buy it. I don't get anything from you guys buying or not, but I'm just showing what I did. So I pre-ordered the deluxe edition. According to what they said, this should be available on all platforms except, like, the Switch, essentially. So the footage they were showing us was in PlayStation, I think. But anyways. Appreciate you, Pang. Thank you for the Prime. So yeah, it looks like Avalanche Software, Warner Brothers is the publisher, action RPG adventure, so it's not an MMO, kind of talks about this down here. So anyways, let me pull this back, let me hit refresh and see if we can do some recap in here of what we just saw. Okay, so video here, I'm gonna grab the link in case you guys want to watch it on your own time or whatever, and we can show you some of the stuff that went over. Just gonna grab this here, I'm gonna put it in the chat. If you guys want to watch this. Okay, so let me go over what I saw that was kind of interesting. First would be the UI, the user interface, and the combat was really good. So let's pull up here. Skip to the different parts.
Thanks, Chandler.
All right, so if you guys were just here a little bit later, here was the character creator. They go through. Now, they go left to right on the character creator. So what I noticed on the character creator, unfortunately, let me move my... You guys can see basically everything here, but... What I noticed on the character creator, unfortunately, there wasn't... Oh, looks like the Switch is listed on the website. Okay, thank you, Grim, for the correction. So it looks like basically every platform is going to have access to this. Thank you. The character creator kind of was a little bit disappointing because I didn't see any, like Starfield, any attributes or perks related to your character's, like, decisions yet. So they kind of foreshadowed in the future that you're, I didn't hear anything about the house either, like the house that you pick or how it sorts you out. I would imagine that's going to be the initial quest. They probably don't want to share that. But there wasn't like a trait or perk. The character creator essentially was just all cosmetic. When we watched this, it looked very, very detailed, as you can see. Lots of stuff. And I think in the character creator, they said specifically that let me go over my notes. Where was it? That you could essentially unlock collectibles like glasses and stuff like that later in the game. And then from the, at the end of the stream, they talked about you can change some types of your appearance. So you see L1 to R1, it just kind of goes over the character creator, but I imagine the sorting hats. We have the sorting hat thing, which you can do on the website, on our website. If you need a link to that, I think Pixel has that done. But here's just kind of a little bit of the character creator. So essentially very cosmetic, pretty detailed as far as complexion. Look at the graphics here, guys, if you can see this. Let me turn on. Is this helpful? Go over this, chat. Is this helpful? Is this helpful? Let me know. Because I'm super excited about this game. This is the next big single-player game that I give a crap about beyond Starfield. So, okay, you want me to go over this? Okay, so just making sure this is helpful. Okay, so let me keep going over my notes. But look at the detail in the... now, this was shown on a console, I assume PS5. So, a PC, if you have a massive graphics card, and they said, I think, they've been in development for about 5 years. So, this game has taken quite a long time to get this done. And then Pixel just posted a link to our website, but there's extra collectibles to unlock. I think they want you to do this. They want you to basically do this sorting ceremony thing, which I've already got done. So here's the link to that if you want to get started. I think you have to create an account. I'll just post it in chat in case you guys want to do this. But I think they're tying extra rewards to doing this pre-launch, kind of like a bunch of other games do. I had to create an account and I did the wizard sorting thing. So it tells you like your Patronus, your, I think your house and all sorts of stuff. So, but just be aware of that. If you guys want to get interactive early on, that's what we've done already to get going on it. So, and essentially I'm going to post stuff on deltiasgaming.com. And in case you're unfamiliar, we're covering basically 4 games now: ESO, Destiny 2, Starfield, and essentially we'll break all this down and chop it up and put Hogwarts Legacy. So I will be covering the game on my YouTube channel and the website, but that's a plug for me anyways. We'll keep going. Okay, let me pull my notes up. So good graphics. They also talked about mask, and then the end screen on the character creator was kind of important. So let me show you. Here we go. So they talked about this a little bit. So this is the end screen, and you have the 4 levels of difficulty. So essentially, they have built in a story mode for those that don't want super hardcore combat, that just want to do the story. And also, you have a hard mode. They didn't talk about if there's a reason to do hard or if there was a new game plus or so forth. But I like the 4 different difficulties, and you can start it whenever you want. Yeah. Yeah, Sergeant Shark, what's up? First time chatter, how you doing? Okay, so let me just keep going. It's kind of what I first noticed about the character creator again. All cosmetic, didn't seem to be performance-based, meaning like you didn't get a perk that made you do more damage or so forth. Microtransactions, I didn't hear about microtransactions in the story. I haven't seen any user interface, but, you know, it's gaming in 2022, 2023 when this game comes out. So, you know, it is what it is. But like when I go to their Steam page to buy the game, my account here, there's nothing else I can buy besides this Hogwarts Legacy thing. And usually you see stuff like if there's going to be heavy microtransactions, right? Usually you see stuff you can buy ahead of time, like currency and all sorts of stuff. They got to make money somehow, either through DLCs, a subscription, microtransactions, but essentially it's a single player game. So, and I don't know, but that's just what I'm assuming. They're not going to, they're probably just going to try to sell the game, a lot of sales on the game. So, all right, let me keep going. And then, yeah, the wizarding option. So essentially, once they get done with the character creator, they didn't, they kind of skipped ahead. So let me show you.
Pulled up for us here.
Let me
we
turn,
are
let me turn
starting
this up
out,
a bit.
James. There you are. You're wearing the House Fanatic robes from the account linking.
Thank you. I do.
See, you hear that? You're wearing the House Fanatic robes for the account linking. Let me play this again. This is what I was telling y'all. If you're interested in this game, use that link I posted in chat. Listen.
Pulled up for us here. We are starting out, James. There you are. You're wearing the House Fanatic robes from the account linking.
Thank you. I do look good. And this.
Okay, now let me go break down the UI from the elements that I noticed. They kind of talk about this essentially, but let me just delta this version real quick. Let me just find the full screen here, because I think there's a lot to break down that we found in the combat. Where's the full screen? Sorry. There it is. Okay, let me go full screen. So, yeah. YouTube and ESO, but hey, I appreciate you. Yeah, well, it said first time chatter in the stream, but okay, so this is kind of the user interface. Now, let me move my camera so you guys can see this quick. But there's the mini map in the bottle at the end, okay? So working right to left, they kind of talked about what this looks like. And oops, pause you. Gotta move back. Because it's really important how the user interface shakes out. So you have the R2 button. So they kind of showed the combat spells in the bottom right. You have to basically hold your, for the lack of a better word, your light attack button. In the game I play, Elder Scrolls Online, that you essentially you hold it and you'll see the guy come back and pull back, and that will allow you to do spells. But there's cooldowns with the spells. You have 4 of them. From my notes, it looks like the guy said there were 20 slottable spells. Those spells could be combat related, environment related, just like what you would expect. And that through the progression, you essentially have to progress to get these different spells and do different professors. So I would imagine different professors or different lines of combat might unlock a little bit more replayability from what I'm gathering. Thank you, Liberty. Happy Veterans Day. You're a wizard, Deltia. So you got that bottom right with all those different ones like Wingardium Leviosa I saw and some environmental plays. But basically, it's a combat system in the bottom right that has cooldowns on spells. You unlock spells by playing the game and doing questing. You can level up the spells. And the combat system is reliant on combos. Now, in the bottom here, and you have that little bar, but it's hard to zoom in on this, but you see this little, I don't know how to call it, but a flame. When the combat section was shown, they actually did, this started to fill up. The bigger combos you had, the more this filled up. What I'm gathering is this will essentially be an ultimate or something. There's 2 little bubbles here, but I think that will be relevant for combat later. It didn't interact throughout the entire gameplay without that. And then you have this D-pad here. The D-pad, from what they showed, is you go to the right to select essentially spells, or you go to the left, and those give you environmental spells essentially. See, like the revealing eye. So the game, it seems extraordinarily heavy on exploration and essentially acquiring different spells and coming back to the environment and then seeing if they work to influence it. The way what I thought about this was essentially is like, you know, Legends of Zelda, right? You get like a flute, or you get this new shovel, or you get this new item, and you come back and explore previously explored areas and unlock access to them. I imagine that's kind of the gameplay loop for a playthrough is you're working to progress your spells, you're working to progress and level them up, and then you get access to new cool environmental spells along with combat spells, and you come back and kind of see how that works. Yeah. Let's see, there are a few finishing moves depending on your style and spells on previous gameplays. Okay, finishing moves. Okay, cool. I haven't seen much gameplay besides this, so this was quite helpful. Okay, and then also you have like consumables down here. You see the 3 potions, talked about that. So consumables seem the way to heal. That's your health bar, obviously. Working to the left, they this L1, they didn't go over, and it looks like a potion. It might just be a gassed up potion. We have no idea, but that wasn't like shown and didn't really interact the entire playthrough. And then you have a very nice, beautiful looking UI that's not too intrusive with a very helpful mini map. So it shows you where you're going, quest markers, merchants, or various, you know, just the common sense map that every game basically needs. And then you guys are asking about Quidditch. I know that's coming up a lot now. Look, I don't develop the game. I don't know what's going on, but what I gathered from their little talk about Quidditch and other systems in the game is they had to draw the line somewhere. And essentially what they decided to do, like a lot of developers do, and instead of half-assing the system, they decided to go with very specifics. And I think that's a smart play, because if you've ever played a game with half-ass designed 6, 7 different systems, it's broken, it's buggy, it's not fun. They can always go back and add multiplayer, and they can always go back and add Quidditch at the start. They're not going to have it. Now, you can ride a broom, is what they said, but Quidditch not going to be in the game at launch. So, you know, I'm disappointed in that. There'd probably be a mini game later on or a DLC that can add to it if the game's very profitable. But I hope that answers your question about the Quidditch. So I know that came up quite a bit, but yeah. All right, so let's keep going. So that's the user interface, and I think that's what I was shown here. So let me keep moving ahead a little bit. Okay, now let me turn this on for a second. The volume.
Fanatic robes from the
So the pre-order, and then that shows them walking around a bit. See, I'll pause it at various spots, but
want on the controller at all times, and Revelo is one of those. That's left on the D-pad.
Left on the D-pad is a reveal. So okay, there's the autosave popped up there.
And so right now, today, we're not going to be going into the spell slotting menu because we feel like there's a lot of spoilers there.
Yeah, they're not going to go in the spell slotting menu, yeah.
I would like spoilers, but I understand.
But we do
So I want to show you like the interactables. Oh, so it'll be pretty important once they pop up.
On the left side, that thing that has the L1 button next to it.
See right there? Okay. So you see this little dot here? I think that was in the previous Warner Brothers game. The UI looked very similar, but that's the interactables. Throughout the entire playthrough or their, let's see, right? See, now he mouses over it and like looks at it, and then it lights up with a square since they're on PlayStation. But so let me move my camera back down so this is clear. But essentially during this entire playthrough, what I took away was there's a massive amount of interactables, collectibles, and lore material, all sorts of stuff, because these little circles, for the lack of a better word, were popping up all the time. All the time. Yeah, so it's, let's see, Celtic asks, can you interact with objects like ESO? I'm pretty sure they didn't, like, spend time interacting, but you see how that square button's there? It's obviously what they're going to be doing is clicking that square button and interacting with it. But they didn't mess with objects too much. And I imagine some objects you can, use Wingardium Leviosa to lift them up. And that's the whole point of getting those spells, is to interact with those objects, maybe move something out of the way, lift it up, and that'd probably be core to the gameplay mechanics later on.
Magical tools that you're going to be...
See, right there, see, look, you just ate an apple there. So that was the interaction there. Got owls. But you see these little dots, they're pretty much just... They're just like completely fluent throughout the entire playthrough. There's just tons and tons and tons and tons of detail. And look at the graphics, gang. I mean, this is on PS5. It's looking gorgeous, running buttery smooth. But look at the detail on the bricks and the lighting of the lamp and the paintings that are moving. It's just credible. I mean, there's gonna be 1,000 puzzles, but this is like a YouTuber's dream, like me, and my website's dream. Just incredible.
Really immerse yourself.
Yeah.
You just got sorted, Nitsa? You're Ravenclaw? Okay, you got a big brain then, huh? All right, let me see what else we got. The music I thought was amazing. Now, there was one thing that popped up that I think I wanted to show.
I'm a big fan of the bedside tables.
The lore books they had. Is there a place where I can put all this information? DeltiusGaming.com. Pixel and Gene will be working on it with me, but, well, I gotta stream the rest of the day, obviously, but normally if I was just doing a website or YouTube, I'd stop right now and just get to work on writing guides and doing 1,000 YouTube videos, but, yeah, I got a whole bunch of it condensed down into notes that I can combine into a video and or a written post. It just takes a while to produce that material, but look at this here. Let me crank this up so you can hear the music.
Common room videos we released, you'll notice the music's a little bit different, and that is entirely...
Now, this is the exploration bit real quick. So you see this green symbol? When I originally saw this, it kind of looks like a bowl of, I don't know, teriyaki on fire. But I thought it was originally this same symbol down here that's, for lack of a better word, I think is an ultimate for combat, but it's not. So it seems like these green symbols are core mechanics to exploration and unlocking achievements, for lack of a better word.
Intentional.
You see them pop up, and there's a big, huge UI element that comes up.
I just want to welcome you to your common room in every single
Did everyone, when people are coming in right now, did you guys see some of this stuff, or people that are coming in? Are you guys coming in their lunch break, or you want me to keep showing a little bit of these clips? Tell me, chat.
Spend like the entire rest of the stream just in the common room here and talking about it, and I'm sure Boston and James could be like just geeking out over it.
All the details come from J.K. Rowling's writings for this common room.
You haven't seen any of it yet. Okay, we just watched the whole thing. We're just doing a recap real quick. It's pretty fun.
It's got a real earthy vibe.
Yeah.
It's very, very earthy.
Now I'm gonna crank it up, and I want you to just listen to the sound effects.
Earth, Ravenclaw's air, Gryffindor's fire, and Slytherin is water. We really leaned into that for each common room.
Wow.
So it feels earthy. We've got a little earthen passageway. That's what we were. Hopefully, it should feel very familiar.
Yeah.
Now wait a second. Now, once they go in this hallway, they're talking over it, but just listen to the sound. It's incredible.
But I know you don't want to leave, but we're gonna be leaving.
Thank you. I understand. Whoa, the sound effects though. Like, looking back at the past trailers, it was just music, but kind of hearing how Hogwarts is now. It's so cool.
Sword, let me
Yeah.
Andrew's going to make use of one of our spells, Revelio.
Use Revelio right here, because there's a little magic going on.
You notice a little something.
All right. right, let's break that down. Let's break that down. Hold on. Let's break this down. Sorry. Thank you, Crunchy. Appreciate it.
I'm just going to make use of one of our spells.
Okay, so I'm going to make use of one of our spells. So you can see there's like a little page that pops up, and they're going to use the reveal spell. So let's break this down and show you.
Revelio.
Use Revelio right here, because there's a little magic going on.
You notice a little...
So, okay, you see that pop up? Field guide, this is like your achievement guide, is what they said?
So, these are something that we kind of interchangeably call Revelio pages or lore pages. And you'll notice a bunch of things pop up on the screen.
Yeah.
You see that we...
See, look at the top left, you got experience. So basically they're rewarding you with character progression for exploring. You see the challenge unlock. So this exploration along with unlocking new areas is going to be huge for progression and just for fun.
Got some XP for it. And you can also see that we've advanced something called like a field guide challenge up in the corner.
Yep, see right there,
so I want to talk about that a little bit. So
collection
we had to ask ourselves, what?
I'm just going
to the field guide is how you actually work on catching up with the other students. So Andrew, if you hit pause for me up here, before you push forward a little bit, you can see in our pause menu, it's got this book theme.
All right, now look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. Okay, there's a lot to break down because they only showed this for a few seconds, and now I got to pause it on them. Okay, so look at level right here. This is the obvious thing. You have the little mouse pointer for, looks like PS5. You got gear, inventory, talents. So this must be like a brand new character. So talents, inventory, gear, obvious stuff, collections, which they've already foreshadowed with the unlocks and so forth. Challenges, looks like it's huge. Setting outposts, so you have some in-game mail mechanic that adds to the story, quest, and map. So the gear and the talents are really something we don't know a whole lot about, but it seems like there are going to be some depth to building your character. Is it going to be like an MMO deep? I don't think so, but the spells and altering the spells are going to be huge because they said you can advance them and have them do new and interesting things. Okay, any questions before I keep going? Or I'm going to keep breaking some of this down, and I'll probably condense this down into a YouTube video I'll work on tonight in a written post. Anything else before I keep moving? I'm looking over my notes. I actually paid attention to this one, so I kind of know this stuff now. Unbelievable. It said there was day and night cycles as well. Gobstones was not playable. And that some of the quests and side quests that you do affect your ending. So a lot of these will affect your ending on how you do the side quests. So I don't know how detailed that will be. I'm just going over my notes, but yeah. Yeah. Dazdas, I hope they make it an online feature like an MMO. And we were talking about that. This game's combat, which we're going to get to pretty soon, looks like it could do well with multiplayer. They could always add it because if it's lucrative for them, why wouldn't they? And the developer's Avalanche, it's Avalanche Software. I'm not familiar with any of their previous work. Warner Brothers is the one that did the last Harry Potter game that I played, and it was a lot of fun. So it looks kind of similar to that, but this developer I'm not familiar with. Can we curse people? Yeah. I did soak this up. Can I go get my staff real quick, or let me get my wand. I think I have one upstairs to prove how nerdy I am. Let me go grab that. I'm gonna play it this way. I go grab that.
Field guide, and you can see your house kind of crest overlaid over it. Right?
Okay.
And you can see that on your level as well. So that the field guide has this magical property of looking out into the world around you. And the reason why it's on loan from the Ministry of Magic and the professors have granted it to you as a late 5th year student is because they want it to help you catch up to the other kids. And its magical property is to discover different opportunities to learn and grow all around you. So the way it works is as you discover gameplay in the game, it actually recognizes that as a challenge, which is kind of locked into there. And Andrew, if you go in there, you'll see different types of challenges that are combat challenges, quest challenges, exploration challenges. And you can see field guide pages are on there as well.
Yeah, 1%. We unlocked that one field guide page.
That entire category is one of the ways that the book itself kind of fills out into the school and spills out into the school and kind of hides itself with different types of challenges and different things to do around the school that you're actually going to interact with to help you grow as a wizard and practice your spells. And so that thing that we just saw is not just a field guide challenge and a way to earn XP. It's also something that that players can use to learn about the school as they're traveling around. They spot these little secret facts and they can kind of play a little bit of a game discovering all of them, and there are over 100 field guide pages just in Hogwarts alone. So.
Little glimpse of the grand staircase here. We're not gonna...
Circular staircase.
All the portraits. And I did notice.
All right, so then you're kind of going through the same thing. So I want to show you basically the big combat one here in a second.
Oh man.
Fast travel points there.
Well, actually, that one we got from. I don't have the other one, but that one we got from a little quest thing at Colorado. We got
just
that.
like in the books.
Yeah,
right next to the Great Hall.
Yeah.
It's a nod to lore. House points is not a core mechanic or system in the game.
House points is not a core mechanic, so they're not going to have that.
Over through those doors. Again, we're not going there. He's just kind of like, no.
Cool.
Here's another collectible page. You know, just again showing you like just
the
things around Hogwarts that you can do and pick up and.
That's a shot straight from the trailer too. That part right there.
Let me see what else they show. So I mean, this is more of the environment stuff, which we kind of understand is like absolutely gorgeous. And let me link this in chat if you guys want to watch this later. So 2 things I want to link. Number 1, I just linked it. I know people come in and out of the stream all the time. Number 1 is that link there, the sorting hat. There's some I don't know what you'd call it, but pre-rewards if you sort your character. So I imagine they want you to go to that website, create an account, and do it. I've already done it. I was Gryffindor. I didn't try to get Gryffindor. And then number 2 is if you want to watch the full replay, it's right there in case you don't want to skip ahead or anything like that. So those 2 things I want to link for you.
Station.
I love that.
Each direction, you know, screen over there.
Yeah, just the music and the feel of the Hogwarts. It just feels Hogwarts.
It's just kind of a.
It feels Harry Potter. It feels, the universe like a living environment. It's incredible.
Greenhouse. Oh my god.
I like the third person perspective. And so this guy that created a character, his robe is one of the pre-orders apparently. If you, or not pre-orders, but if you do that sorting thing, you get that robe.
You feel like you know your way around.
Let me keep going. All right, so now here is let me just back this up quick.
We'll gather.
Here's a quest. Let me move my head because I think that they show a little bit of the. I don't even know where to put my big head at. Let me go over here. I want y'all to see a little bit of the UI for the questing. Okay, so I'm just gonna watch. Oh, if you said it's a shame the voices are crap. I love the voices. I love the British accents. Okay, let me just show you guys this.
You know, and just kind of chill out.
And an opportunity to talk to somebody, get a quest giver here.
Is everything all right?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm Nellie, by the way. I'm just so excited that the Daedalian keys are back.
The what keys?
The Daedalian keys. Surely you've seen them flying about. Rumour is that a former headmistress, Professor Mole, conjured them to protect the contents of certain locked cabinets years ago. Professor Black couldn't be bothered to disenchant the keys, and they appear every few years. You should try to catch one.
Why would I do that?
Each key will lead you to a locked cabinet somewhere in the castle. If you can manage to get the key into the cabinet lock, not an easy task, you may find a reward.
All right, so yeah, I know your point that the lip syncing was kind of off on that one, but this is obviously not completely polished, but so the UI here, I think you folks can see this. So you have the subtitles here, and then you have the first option, which basically bypasses and gets to the main point. So when I was looking at this from previous, couple quests that they showed, it didn't look like there was a whole options of choices, but they highlighted that there will be choices in the game. You have the follow-up questions with the question marks that proc more dialogue. So I'm just going to go ahead and play that. Oh, he didn't do it.
Perhaps I'll give it a go.
See,
I hope you do.
I'll look into it so it bypasses that. So just like, what's another good game that has something like this where you can just cut to the chase, skip the dialogue, or you can kind of fart around and see what things they have to offer. I don't know if that's going to give you more options on the quest or different outcomes. We didn't really see a whole lot of that. So let's see. All right, so then, yeah.
It's a cool way.
Oh, Fallout's a good one, yeah.
With your fellow students, with perhaps.
Okay, so they talk about this and
characters' lives. Absolutely. So the scale really varies, but
now let's get to combat and break this down. That's the big dog part that I want to show y'all. Now this is what got me dripping with excitement. Let me show you a little bit more of the dialogue real quick. I think they might have shown it here.
Yeah, and your opportunities to be mean there.
I'll see what I can do.
Oh, I'll see what I can do again. Here we go.
I need someone, perhaps a selfless and talented 5th year to help me.
See, here we go. I can't make any promise, any ideas how to reach them, or you don't have any friends. So, it looks like they bypassed the option to follow up questions. Probably didn't want to really reveal anything.
The world.
I'm glad they mentioned they're a part of the wizarding world.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to combat. So they showed basically the lead up to the combat was essentially there is an area in Hogwarts where there's a dueling area. The teachers know about it, but they kind of let it go. And you just have to duel a kid, and it kind of shows you. So there's a tutorial intro. I want to see if you guys can see this, and we'll break this down.
No two hallways should look the same in Hogwarts. It has a lot of personality. Every hallway should be a little bit different, and that's mostly to help orient the player.
And then we'll move back down, Elder Scrolls Online, and do all that stuff.
This is Hesperus Hall. That's a little nod from the Marauders, a name that came from the Marauders map. But every hallway will have a little bit of a different personality and
personality. I like that because it does like Hogwarts has character. Hogwarts is its own character no matter where you go.
Yeah.
Feels just a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's a sentient castle full of magic for hundreds of years. Yeah. It's going to kind of grow and develop. Oh, I heard something.
Yeah. Speaking of characters.
Speaking of magic, Mr. Magic himself. You know the fat lady.
That are a lot of
that I can visit.
Where Crossed Wands, which is the secret, not so secret dueling club is that the students have put together. Professors definitely know about it, but they think they're being clever. And it's run by this Lucan Brattleby here.
Who's in a younger year, but we
kind of
like
the details on the armor. My God.
Hello, Lucan. May I use the training dummy?
Of course. I'll fetch it and give you a list of combinations to practice. Ready to have a try now?
That would be wonderful.
Be sure to cast all your spells before the dummy lands. If you need to stop practicing before you finish all of them, let me know.
And this is a really good opportunity to now jump into combat because really in the game this is going to be the first.
Let me move my head real quick, and I'll show you guys what I took away from this combat real quick. Yeah, you guys are saying the lip sync. The lip sync does look off. It reminds me of Mass Effect Andromeda when it launched, type thing. But yeah. Okay, so you see the top little interface here. This is the training module, but obviously this very first spell, if you're listening in, I'm just gonna try to narrate like you're listening, like at the office type thing. But you see this very first one, and then it has a bunch of other ones. So it kind of foreshadows that what you have to do is not just sit there and spam abilities, but kind of like Elder Scrolls Online or other games is maybe use a light attack in between. So you have like a basic attack that you can just basically do every global cooldown, and then weave it in with different spells, which will reward you with combinations. And that's what the tutorial teaches you in combat. So you can see this top bar and this bottom right one is the same ability. So let's watch this.
First time where you yourself get to learn about combat and combos in a big way and in a new way. For me personally, this was where the game like really starts to open up to the possibilities.
Yeah. So we've set up a training dummy, and this is kind of an activity where you're supposed to execute according to kind of the iconography on the top. Now, what we see on the top is the Accio spell, followed by 4 what we just kind of lovingly refer to as basic shots.
Basics, what they call light attacks.
That the wizards kind of like use, just kind of flame. See? Andrew's using one now. And you trigger that by tapping R2 on your controller. So you can see in the corner R2. So if you tap R2, that throws out a basic shot. But that R2 is also your gateway to all of the
yeah, we can't get away from waving.
So if you hold R2 instead, you can see how the diamond expands. And if we let go, you see how it contracts.
Yeah.
And so if you hold it again, it expands. And so when it expands, then all the spells that you slotted while you're holding that button can now be tapped with your face buttons.
Awesome.
And not only that, but over the course of the game, you can gain additional spell diamonds, up to 4 additional ones, so that you can slot up to 16 spells pretty much instantly. And then that helped us fulfill the fantasy of in combat, I need to be able to access things very rapidly.
Yeah.
And so you learn over the course of these events, how to juggle not just the spell casting, but also it reinforces an understanding of another feature of the wheel, which is their cooldowns. So as you're casting spells, just to make sure that you're not just kind of like repeatedly using one thing over and over and over again, you can see cooldowns on the spells that he's using on the wheel.
Yeah, see the cooldown? I'll just pause this real quick. but you see the cooldown on the top one in R2. So it looks like the spells come back quite fast, and you can see the UI is pretty I'm impressed with the UI because it's not like Elder Scrolls Online or another MMO. It's down your face with 1,000 pop-ups. When they show the combat a little bit later, they show the damage numbers. Pay attention to the damage numbers because, like any good MMO or RPG fan, I didn't see a crit on the number. So I don't know if they're gonna have crit multiplier, or just keep it very simple with pure raw damage. But pay attention to this little interface down here, and the cooldowns are pretty snappy. So you're not gonna be just using light attacks, and you're not gonna be using spells, but there'll be some skill involved with this, and the blocking will come into play.
Then as you progress through the game, there are different things that can affect things like cooldowns through your talents, different things that allow you to kind of like juggle and adjust and update those things. And so if you hold down R2 and you tap the D-pad, it will switch between your other diamonds if you've unlocked them, and that's how you access all those.
Oh man, it looks like we're about to get some action over here.
Yeah. So this is a great way to kind of learn how to pull things together.
So you
pull those combos
right
together.
Here. Yeah. Tap, Accio, tap, tap, tap. Awesome.
Well done,
Andrew.
And that's just against the dummy, but I mean...
I'd say that's enough practice.
Now watch this. This is awesome.
I say better to discover one's weaknesses during practice than during a duel. You'll be a fearsome challenger now.
I think now we can take on something a little more challenging. It's going to shoot back.
Now let's talk about some more features of the combat system.
Hello, Lucan. Is the next round of Crossed Wands all set?
Why, yes it is. I've got a great match lined up. Ready for another round?
We're on a PS5 dev kit here, so we're going to be able to kind of pause the action and talk about what you're seeing on the screen, because there's about to be a lot going on.
Okay.
All right, here you can select.
You're not the only one that has kind of like the function.
Oh, sorry, let me here. There we go. Shields.
You're not the only one that has Protego and the ability to deflect. The enemies do too.
See, look at the shields.
And we actually play with that when it comes to the spell casting. So you notice that there are different colored kind of shields around the different characters, and you also notice that your spells have different colors on them. So to help players understand kind of like the function of their spells.
Okay, so look at the interface. I know he's explaining it, but just to break it down, you see that number for the damage? I'm not seeing a crit number. This is single player, so these are against NPCs. Am I buying this? I'm a PC player, Sardiner, so I'm always playing on PC, yeah. But you can see the color of the shields. Destiny 2 players or Mass Effect players, you always had to break the shields and so forth, so it kind of tells you which spell or skill line to basically use against them. So there's going to be a lot of skill, and you can block as well. Now, also, you can see down here, I can't zoom in, essentially, but you can see Combo X9. So there is a lot of rewards and incentives for comboing your spells along with light attack weaving. So the combat was a lot deeper than what I had thought at first.
We're trying to put them into brackets. So there are damage spells, there are force spells,
breaks it with a combo.
I'm forgetting the other one, all this control spells. And so those things for the player, they wind up also being a color indicator for which actual spell to use to break the different shields that enemies can use. That way it rewards kind of like that close attention that you're paying on things.
We've got this paused here now, and you can kind of see all the elements on the screen, the halo around the avatar's head, each of the different shields, to kind of give us a breakdown of what's going on.
Give us a breakdown of different things that you're saying. So you notice at the top that we're kind of like calling out which enemy you currently have targeted and their level and health. And so, as you target different characters, you'll be able to get that breakdown. The halo over your head, whenever an enemy is about to an attack, it's almost like you have a little bit of a sixth sense for those things that are coming. If you see the halo, it means there's an incoming attack, and if you tap the triangle button by default, then that you'll be able to deflect that attack that comes in.
You see what I'm saying? Like, this is where the skill-based stuff comes in, and this is why I think it would have replayability for like a meathead like me, is because you have the ability to time it, kind of like the Jedi sixth sense here, a wizard sixth sense. This gives you an indicator of an incoming spell, which would probably be hard to do in a multiplayer game, but this is where you can put your shield up and have this really interactive combat instead of button mashing.
off with the protect.
And I love that deflect where it goes off and like hits things up and kind of breaks things off walls too.
But also, if you hold the button, then it doesn't just deflect. It also deflects and turns around with a counter-attack stupefy that actually stuns the enemy. And you can use that even in your combos and stuff. So if you're focused on a character, you know, and you're doing your thing, and someone else attacks you, you can actually turn that attack.
I gotta see that again. Oh my God! Look at this. Wait, 1 second. Watch the barrel, because let's see if he uses Wingardium Leviosa or what spell. So the purple one. I wonder if he uses the purple one to get the barrel. Ready? Watch this.
That even in your combos and stuff. So if you're focused on a character,
Wingardium Leviosa,
and you're doing your thing, and someone else attacks
didn't even
you,
use
you
a skill, just pull the barrel and smashed him.
Back into the gameplay
that 11
here.
stack combo went off, and then that blue bar is starting to fill. So that has to be an ultimate meter down here. I guarantee it's something like that.
Gonna
all right, just about done.
Pretty handily finish these other students off here. Win this duel.
How fast it is.
Whoa!
It's like a dance.
Oh, that's sick!
Yeah, we really felt like in the movies, there's almost like a.
Okay.
It's kind of like a. There's this element of kind of like fencing from a very.
All right. Yeah. So that's basically it on that, and I think it showed a little bit more of the open world stuff, and they talked a little bit about the developers. Where is it at? This part here.
Here again to show you like.
That was a break free too. Okay, so there is CC and crowd control. So the combat's a lot deeper, but it kind of shows you here that there is a little bit of open world. It's not just the actual castle itself. So you see they kind of look over the shadow here. I mean, I don't know how far you can go out there. It's not gonna be like The Witcher 3 or Red Dead Redemption 2, but there's little islands and all sorts of stuff. So yeah. And that's kind of the wrap up, I think, of what happened. I'll just leave here, but here's a little character creation. So I'll jump back into Elder Scrolls Online. Before I do, what questions do we have from chat about the game? Yeah, I have to wait till February. That'll give me some good time to get some content created for the game and break it down. My thought would be, it looks really fun. I know there's been some back and forth about a multiplayer mode, but I don't know how I feel about that. You know, not every game has to have multiplayer. The combat being so deep that it is, I would see that I think it has some room for PvP. They could always add it later. I would like Quidditch added later, but I was shocked about the graphics and the sound effects, how good it is, and I'll probably do exactly what I do the opposite on ESO, which is basically explore and do questing. The exact opposite of what I do in MMOs, so. Muggles! Yeah, it's on February 10th, PC, all those different platforms. Looks like PS4, really. How do you get sorted in the game? I think that might be an intro quest, but there's also a way you can get sorted now before you even play it and earn some rewards in game. We did it. It's on the website. Pixel, I think we have a link if you want to go do it. But yeah, co-op would have been nice. Because me and my wife would like to play together. I mean, that's like the only game she would ever play with me. She's not a gamer at all, but she would play the original Warner Brothers Harry Potter game that we used to play together. So, you know, not every game has to have multiplayer. You know, God of War is doing just fine without it, but I would love for them to add Quidditch later because I know it's a massive thing, but I'm glad they cut it just to get it out and get it out properly. But yeah. The OWL system, it looks like that was in the interface, the OWL system. We didn't get any indication of what that looks like, the user, like the mechanics of the OWL system, so. Okay. All right, anything else? But there's the link if y'all want to watch that. I'm going to jump back in, and man, that was fun. So thanks for watching that with me. You can tell I'm kind of excited about this, and yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. So I'll be streaming it, obviously, and probably try to make some videos on it. Again, if you want to watch the whole thing, I'm just going to post it right here. And yeah, jump back into the Elder Scrolls Online. So yeah,